Hello, my friends, and Happy New Year. I hope you had a wonderful holiday season and were able to find rest and relaxation and enjoy your time with your family. And I know you're seeing all sorts of posts about everything from everyone join this challenge, do this. But I wanted to just share a couple of tools that I think are unique that might really help along this journey where so many of us embrace trying to improve ourselves and do different things. And ultimately, many of us will fail because we give up because we try to take too much on at once. But what I'd like you to do is consider two things. Let me pull up my notes here. And number one is really thinking about a weekly life reflection. And what does that mean? So, first of all, I'm a big fan of journaling. So, journaling allows us, one, to express our emotions in a safe space and just let the creative flow go, right? And have no judgment, no emotion like tied to the outcome of how it looks. Like you're not writing for anyone else but yourself. But what this does is it allows an opportunity to reflect over the week and see if there's anything that we can benefit from thinking about certain circumstances or certain events that might have occurred, and then writing about them, especially about the emotions that were evoked and different things. So first of all, number one, it enhances self-awareness, right? So, reflecting on week's events, especially in a journal, encourages a deeper understanding of your thoughts and your feelings and specifically your behaviors. It really helps identify patterns or maybe some triggers. Maybe there's something that keeps coming up and that you're just kind of struggling with. But if we do this every 7 days, not just like on a month or a year, but just on every 7 days, it's fresh enough in our memory that we can take time to really just understand what's occurring on the inside. And by doing that, we may learn some great life lessons that we don't have to keep repeating over and over and over again. And so when we're learning from these experiences, right? So when you're examining both positive and negative experiences, you can really extract valuable lessons. And then this process turns everyday experiences into opportunities for your learning and personal development. And one thing I would say is if you are going through the week and you're not, let's say you do your reflection on Sundays and you want to remember something, jot it down on your notes on your phone or maybe carry a small notebook with you and write it down in the evening so that you can actually have that as fodder for your weekly review and say, okay, this is definitely something I want to reflect on. And that might actually also help from you ruminating on it. So now you've written it down and saying, okay, I will take care of this during my dedicated weekly reflection time. And when you do that, you might get better sleep, you may be less stressed because you're like, okay, I'm going to handle this at a certain point of time. Excuse me. And I also think there's improved problem solving when you do this, right? So when you're reflecting on challenges faced during the week, you can enhance your problem solving skills. It allows for reevaluation of situations, and then it allows you to be creative and brainstorming. Really important here is that we don't hold self-judgment, that we come into this from a compassionate place, that we love each other and ourselves specifically, because you can't pour from an empty cup, right? So the more that we look and turn into ourselves and use your inner wisdom in what's happening and reflecting, and also something that might be very helpful is when you maybe had a stressful event or a discussion with someone, trying to understand from their perspective, saying, okay, where is this person coming from? Why would they be saying that? Given the circumstances you have, but try to withhold judgment until you maybe think of a few different opportunities or things that might be occurring in their life or from their perspective that made that such a strong or intense interaction. Just some ideas there. Also, I kind of hinted to this earlier, it provides emotional release and healing. So many of us need healing these days. Sometimes the holidays aren't an easy time to get through, and it can bring up a lot of feelings and stress and struggle. And this journaling provides that safe space to express your emotions, and that can lead to an emotional release and healing. It really helps to process your emotions constructively, and it really can reduce your anxiety and stress. And then it's a great tool to track your progress and growth, right? So regular reflections make it easier to track regular growth over time. Again, so important to know that any progress, even tiny amounts, are something worth celebration, and that those tiny improvements have huge impact over time. So let's say you start this week, But the end of a month, 2 months, 3 months, and a year, what a wonderful tool to look back over and see the things that you worked through yourself. It builds confidence, it builds self-love and joy in seeing that you have the skills and abilities, and just see where your growth is occurring. And I think it's, at the end of the day, it really fosters gratitude and a positive feeling or positive emotions, because when you focus on positive aspects and expressing gratitude, really can shift your perspective and promote a more positive outlook on life. So maybe also at the end of this self-reflection, just write down, I am grateful for these lessons I've learned this week, regardless of how hard they were. So that is tool number one, a weekly life reflection in a journal with a statement of gratitude at the end, showing, the lessons that you learned. And I think I'm going to do this as well. And if the lessons aren't too personal, maybe I'll share them with you sometime. And love to know if you are doing this already or would like to. Now, the second tool that I think that might be very beneficial is visualizing your future self as your guide, right? Who knows you better than yourself? Now, let's think about this. What does that mean? So let's say that you have a future self in 30 days, a quarter, a year, 10 years. Think of whatever that future self is that you want to talk to. Why can't you speak to them? Why can't they be your guide? They're you, just in a future point in time. So I think of it like this. Let's say that I have a health goal, and in 1 year, I'd like to be able to run a certain distance or lift certain weights or eat a certain way. And you can visualize, you have to visualize it, the person that you're going to be in 1 year. And then you need to feel it. You need to love this person in your heart and really feel what it's like going to be there already, so that you can connect in a heart-to-heart way with yourself and that future self, your current self and your future self. And know that your hearts are connected in a way. You need to feel what it's going to be the person that you're visualizing. Because when you feel it, and as we go through a few little prompts here, that to maybe some steps to help speak to or think about that your personal self or your future self giving you advice, I really want you to have that heart connection. And that's so, so important. And first of all, number one, it gives clarity of goals and aspirations, right? So when you visualize your desired future self, it helps define your goals and aspirations more clearly. It creates a vivid image of where you want to be, and that makes the goal setting more tangible and directed, right? So again, this could be a variety of things where you want to work on in your life: finances, health, spirituality, relationships. It doesn't matter. Whatever that future self is in that particular area that you want to have be your guide, visualize them, connect with them, and really, really think about it. You can also maybe speak to this in your journal on your weekly review. Like, did I listen to my future self in regards to this particular goal that I have? And then it's number two, there's a decision-making framework, right? So when you're faced with decisions, asking what your future self would advise would provide kind of a unique perspective, because now not only is it goal-oriented, but it's also reflecting upon your future self, what those values would be, right? So it aligns your current choices with your long-term objectives, your long-term values, and that would ensure consistency in your actions that are leading to certain goals. And then also overcoming present challenges, right? So considering how your future self would handle present challenges can offer new insights and strategies. And it really encourages, again, that long-term view, often revealing solutions that are overlooked when focusing on only immediate concerns, right? So when we sit back and go, instead of, you can still call your friends, your family, whomever, to get advice, whoever your support system is. But I would say dial up your future self and say, okay, future self, what would you do? And don't even necessarily try to come up with answers, but just maybe sit with the question and meditate on the question and allow those questions or the answers to kind of bubble up. And we start having inklings, write them down. So let's say you have an issue with a person at work, right? Or you're trying to make a decision on you to take a different job. Maybe it's a time to go, okay, I know where I want to be. What would my future self tell me? Well, we may have a choice, like our present self, we may have like an immediate reaction to a choice. Maybe we want to take the job that makes more money because we know we want to see money right away, but maybe the other job we understand instinctively might have more benefits in the future, but even though maybe it's at a lower pay or a lower rank than we think we should be entering into a particular job situation. But what would the future self say? Ask them. Say, hey, future Lori, what should I be doing here? How can I do this? And then just sit back and let the answers come. And if you don't get an answer, give it a day or two, if you can. And so that really allows you time to be thinking about it. Your mind will start working on it. Again, this will be a really interesting exercise. And I think it also provides, number 4, motivation and inspiration, right? So your envisioned future self serves as a source of motivation, inspiration. It reminds you what you're working towards, and especially during tough times, because life is like that. You have your ups and your downs, but at the end of the day, you're going to be okay, and you are loved, and you're worthy of this time to invest in yourself. But again, remember, no one knows you better than yourself. So why can't you be your own guide? And it doesn't mean, again, that we don't have external coaches or people that we lean on. But at the end of the day, it's you. It's you in your thoughts. It's you in everything you do. And you are amazing. You have the inner wisdom. You just got to be brave enough and courageous enough to listen to it, and not take in everybody else's opinions and suggestions. And advice to heart. Like, you take what you need and move on. If it feels right, go on with it. If not, then sit back and reflect on it. Maybe there's some other choices you need to take. But anyway, next, I think it also, number 5, it provides accountability and responsibility. It really instills that sense of accountability when you're thinking about your future self. It's almost like you're accountable to another person, and you really are, because your future self is not you currently. You will be that person, or you might be a different version if you don't make those different decisions, right? But what this does is you're relying on yourself right now to that future self. It's like you have a child that is relying on you to make different decisions, or a friend that you're being their accountability partner, let's say in a workout buddy or something. Again, no one's more important than your future self, in this sense. And yeah, I think it just really makes you proactive and responsible in your approach to life, right? And next, it really kind of bridges the gap between the present and the future. So regular visualization helps in like gradually bridging that gap between the current self and the desired future self. It transforms your abstract goals into a series of actionable steps, right? Versus like, I just hope this happens, or I'm going to, manifest that this happens. And but I think this is the way to manifestation. I think this is the way to get what you want. For example, when I was a kid, and I think I've told this story before, when I was 10, I knew I wanted to be a doctor, and I had visualized it so many times in my head that I was going to be a doctor and what I would do when I was a doctor. And I had also visualized that I was going to be a mother and what I would do if I was a mother. And so there's certain things in your life, and you were just absolutely knowing and certain. And what sets it up is when you know that, when you're already living like this is going to happen or has happened, you just start making those decisions that lead you to your desired outcome or goal. And sometimes they're really hard, but that's okay. We all do hard things every single day. And you can do more hard things, and don't think that you can't. And if people have told you that you can't do these hard things, I need you to not listen to them, because every single one of us is so magnificent and so important in this world. And it doesn't mean that you're being egotistical or narcissistic or anything. You're coming from a place of love, and you have to start loving yourself thoroughly, all warts and all, because we're, I think, spiritual beings having a human life right now. And we're here to live our purpose. So I think that's it. So my favorite saying is, live your purpose and love without limits every single day. So there you go. My 2024 recommendations for you. It's not another challenge per se, but maybe some tools to help you reflect weekly and to really get to your goals by looking to the one person that you can absolutely trust that will make the right decision for you. And that, my friend, is you. All right. Have a blessed rest of your day. And I'll be back tomorrow with who knows what other crazy thoughts are coming in my head. Okay. Blessings and thanks again for listening because I know you could be elsewhere. Have a great day.